Have you ever wondered why is it that what you resist persists? Why is it that we become the things we fight? In this video, we're going to deep dive into this paradox, but also coming from a point of quantum mindset. How can you bend reality, understanding this fascinating and powerful paradox that can completely transform your reality? Let's go. Now, if I were to tell you that this world, this life, this universe is completely perfect as it is now, and that you still may want to change it, what would you say? How would you react? Maybe you think this is completely bullshit. Look at the world. How is it possible that this world is already perfect when so many things are going wrong? Or you may be thinking, if something is already perfect, why would I want to change it? Or you may be thinking so many other things. Now, I want you to consider this, because this paradox, once you can wrap your head around it, will allow you to see the world in a completely different way. And that is the quantum mindset. You see, we all have a unique way of seeing the world right now. Each and every single one of us have our own interpretation, our own subjective interpretation of the world and what's going on, plus our own personal challenges, problems, things that are not working, things we want to change, things we want to manifest, and so on. Now, if you see the world from a place of this is broken, this needs to change, this needs to be fixed. That's usually why people want to change or improve things, right? Because it's broken, it's not working, or it's a problem or something like that. But if you see it from that perspective, if you see your life, or if you see the problem from a perspective of this is the problem, then you are keeping it and planting it stronger into the ground. You're keeping it stronger in place. How is that possible? Well, consider this for a moment. In quantum physics, they tell us that the act of observing is the act of creating. The act of observing is the act of creating. When you observe something in your reality as being broken, bad, not working, and something along those lines as a problem or an issue for you, you are creating this through your perception. In that moment, your perception of that thing is the observer effect. Therefore, you are planting this firmly into your reality. This is why what we resist persists. This is why we tend to become the things we fight, because our focus, our attention, our energy goes into the challenge, the problem, even though on an intention and conscious level we don't want this, we want that or the solution or the opposite, or whatever we think would be better instead. And yet we keep finding ourselves with more of the same challenge, and it feels like whatever we're doing is not really working. So if we take the example of people who are fighting racism, often you can see that in this case a lot of them are using discrimination to fight racism, which is the very first thing that they try to eliminate, kind of thing. Now you can look at it from a more personal point of view, which is body issue or weight loss. If we go a little bit deeper, weight loss, so many people go on endless diets. What they see in the mirror, what they keep telling themselves, the way they keep saying and seeing themselves is overweight. I've got a few extra kilos, I keep extra little fat, extra little flows, extra little thing. And the act of observing their body being this way, not being perfect yet, being overweight or whatever the way they relate to that body, is what perpetuates their body to always somehow come back to that state. Even in some extreme cases, where everybody can see that that person is skinny and they still feel fat. So to understand this paradox is very interesting, and it's very difficult to wrap your mind around because it goes really much against the way we see reality as it is right now. But as we focus on the problem, we also, push the solution away from us. So what is then the solution? And what would be a better way to looking at life? And look at it from this perspective. I told you earlier on that the world is perfect as it is right now. And you still might want to change it. This might be very difficult to accept because a lot of resistance can come out based on the belief and your perception that you have of your life and the world around you. But if you can come from a place where you are, my life, where I am right here, right now, is perfect as it is. It's unfolding exactly as it should be. And I still may want to change certain things. Not because there's something wrong with them, not because I'm fighting it, not because I'm resisting it, not because it's wrong, broken, or bad, simply because I choose to or desire to. Or simply because I want to make it even more perfect. Or simply because I want to create something else. The acceptance of things as they are, pretty much how we think and how we see them and how we imagine them to be would be more accurate, the way we observe them to be right now. If we can change that way we observe things so that they no longer be a problem, the resistance disappears. And now we are left with giving our energy toward the things that we desire. That's why if you want to heal your body, you cannot relate to your body as being sick. That's why if you want to transform your financial situation, you cannot keep relating to yourself as a poor person. That's why healers and all metaphysical workers and so on, what they see in another person is exactly as that person is perfect. And that's what Jesus did when he healed the lepers and the blind guy. If he were to see that person as having that condition, he will perpetuate that condition and will not be able to make that miracle happen straight away. But it's through his recognition that that person was exactly perfect as he was already. And that recognition allowed the miracle to happen. So in order to create and bend reality, we gotta be coming from a place where we control our perception of the world. We choose what wave of possibility we choose to collapse through what we observe in our reality. In other words, we don't believe what we see. We believe and then we see it. So this paradox can be a little bit tricky to understand, but if you look at your life and if you look at your life right now at what you're projecting, what are you, where in the world are you not seeing the world as perfect? Where are you not seeing other people as perfect? Where are you not seeing yourself as completely healed, whole, and being magnificent? All of those will give you information about what condition you're perpetuating in your reality instead of creating the thing that you actually desire. So the greatest gift you can see and do to another person is not to be sympathetic toward the suffering, because as you observe them as being, poor me kind of thing, you keep them in that state. But if you see them as being already perfect, whole, healed, from a compassionate place, you can be compassionate, understand that they're feeling a certain way, that they're being through something, and yet you can choose to see them in a place where they're above that. Happy, healthy, healed, whole, free, wherever they might want to be. And as you do that thing, you create a space for them to actualize that possibility. Because, again, everything is possible right here, right now. Quantum physics will tell you that we live in a field of endless and limitless possibilities. And through what we observe, we collapse certain waves into particles. So the question is, what are you observing? How are you observing yourself in a way that is not perfect yet? Your life in a way that's not perfect yet? What are you resisting in your life? What are all the things that you're fighting to change in your life? What in the world are you seeing as not being perfect yet? Answering those questions will show you some of your projection on the world, some of those beliefs, some of those resistance, some of those perceptions that still need to be realigned and that you need to change, not what you see, but to change the way you see it in order for you to be able to bring a new solution, something new in place. Because the more you keep observing something that you don't like or that you resist or that you don't want, and sometimes it's harder, it's like, man, I can't stop thinking about it, I don't like it, but it's in my face. You gotta discipline your mind to focus and to see not only, maybe the easiest space will be, I often talk about, acceptance, accepting what is. And I've made videos about how to do that and how to move to that space, but accepting what is and then allow yourself to see everything as being perfect the way it is already. That doesn't mean that it's over, that you're gonna be stuck there forever and that you can wallow in self-pity and defeatism. That's not what I mean. By accepting a situation, you claim the power over it. Because you realize that life is perfect as it is right now and I can choose a new reality. I give my energy, I can observe something new coming instead of this. But releasing that resistance, releasing the perception, healing how you see it, and the energy behind it will bring something else in place so much faster. But if you keep seeing it as a problem and you keep focusing on the problem, it becomes much stronger, kept in place. So the question is, what are you observing? I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment. I'll be very happy to hear from you. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Be well.